Try to be very accurate on this deal because Soros added 600% to his position on the S&P 500 puts, bearish, going bearish. Now, I know Soros is, Wile E. Coyote, tricky dick all the way, right? He freaking, you never know what the hell he really means or what he's going to do, but, I guess it's kind of boring because it's almost like we know this stuff's going to happen. It's like the stocks are getting too pricey. This is the second longest, now it's the second longest bull run in U.S. equities history in the last 120 years. The last time it was longer than this was in the 1920s. And actually, there's some correlation charts out there floating around showing the equities going up, and they almost correspond exactly to what happened in the 1920s before the 1929 crash. Now, but there's also speculation. Well, it's not speculation. I mean, it's like, if George Soros puts down his huge bet again on the S&P bearish, that 600% increase of puts, that the S&P 500 is going to go down. He could just be hedging his position, right? It could be. But let's add some other facts here because I remember this like from way back. August 2013, last year. Headlines. George Soros puts down huge, that was their words, bearish bet on the S&P 500. Then earlier in 2014, he greatly added to that position. I think he doubled it. Now, the next story as of right now is that he increased it by 600% of what he already did. So I'm thinking this isn't hedging a position. This is the position. Right? And it's not like rocket science to figure out that, Goldman Sachs has already been warning people the stocks are getting pricey. And, Grant has been warning people about, the long-term outlook for the bond market, stock market, and all that is not looking good. It's like you had a really good run-up. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I'm not talking that. I'm saying you already had a really good run-up. But what does this mean for the metals? I'll tell you what it means. They go down. I'm telling you, the only wild card that I keep expecting, and there's so much stuff brewing with tensions in the Middle East, that's your wild card. But if the stock market crashes, so is oil, gold, and silver. But there's that wild card, the Middle East. I don't know. That can go off at any time. And you know what? The powers that be could just maybe do that to divert attention away from domestic problems. Of course, Obama will be there, head of the legions. Yeah, he'll put him right there in the front of the army. He'll be leading the charge in the front, Obama himself. Right, of course. Screaming Allah. I don't know what he... Yeah, right. It don't work like that in today's environment. That was back 2,000 years ago, when they did that type of stuff, The guy that was the commander got there right in the front with the troops, you know what I mean? No more. And now I got to cut up some more box tops from these Captain Crunch cereal boxes and find some spike decoder rings in here to help my career along a little longer, right? And I don't want to piss off the commander-in-chief. Now the commander-in-chief said this. I don't want to be too hard on those guys because, if they say something, they get axed. So they're not going to say nothing, but I know they think it. You know what I mean? They're not all 110% careerists. Who knows? I really don't know. It's difficult to say. But when you actually go for the truth, you're only going to do it one time when you're in the military because after that, the powers that be are going to knock you out of the loop, right? So, but Giorgio, man, he's the original team member of the Lizard team with Jim Rogers, and everybody loves Jim Rogers. I don't know why they don't love Jim Rogers. Not everybody, but a lot of people love Jim Rogers and they hate George Soros. They're both the same thing. They don't like the Jewish guy. That's what it comes down to. I'm telling you right now. Rogers is the same damn thing, except they like him because he says I don't know, Soros has gold mines too. I swear to God, man. Rogers, he's not even living in the USA anyway, so he says, China's my country, and my kids are going to speak Mandarin. Well, good. Anyway, I don't know. They're both bastards. But they're predicting us the future. So, I'm going to put out something else, too, on some other interesting twists on something. Pretty wild stuff that you could do with electronics and spooky and stuff like that. A spooky device, maybe. DNA repair. Maybe today or maybe tomorrow. But it's going to be an extremely interesting twist. But for now, the news is on this video is that George Soros he increased his bearish bet 600%. I know there's controversy as to saying, is he just hedging his position, or is that the position? But I have to go back in the old files from what I remember. I remember the headlines back last year, almost to the day, last year, August 2013, George Soros placed his huge bearish bets on the S&P 500. Huge. Not a bearish, huge bearish bets. Early 2014, he doubled down on those bets. Now, what happened just now, recently, in August 2014, is that George Soros increased those bets by 600%. So I'm saying those are the positions. He's not hedging another position, watching out as, the rear guard in case something happens. That is the position. It's almost like, is this the main attack coming or whatever? What is he doing for real? That's his main strategy. And, to me, it seems to be a no-brainer because what goes up like too good for too long must come down. Not saying that it's going to be down forever, but it's going to be the next cycle of business is going to go like this, and I don't know. And that's going to bring gold and silver and oil down, too. When that happens, gold, silver, and oil is going to go down. But I keep expecting these unexpected events to happen in the Middle East. And they may do that on purpose to divert attention away from domestic problems. The markets are bad. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, wait a minute. New headline. Turmoil in the Middle East. The Straits of Hormuz is closed. No oil is coming out. Oh, let's forget about it has nothing to do. Besides, if the oil is going to go down, these guys that have all the oil produced in the United States, they don't want that to happen too long. You know that. They want as much money as possible for that stuff. You know what I mean? That'll be the time they do it, probably. I don't know. I'm guessing at this, but, I pretty much think the way they do. I ain't in the planning room. I'm not talking to no elite guy. But I pretty much know how the game would be played. It's not that difficult to figure it out. It's just that it's kind of a slow unfolding game. It's like watching a calendar. Watching grass grow. It ain't that exciting. Anyway, George Soros places a huge bet on top of all the other huge bets he does, and he increases all those other huge bets by 600%. I think that is the position. It's not a hedge. He's betting a farm on that. And I guess George Soros would be a gazillionaire, right? In U.S. dollars, which will still be around. Him and Rogers. Anyway, I'm going to have another angle on something with Rogers, maybe kind of obliquely related to him, and food and spooky too. Maybe today or maybe tomorrow, one of these 2 days, but it'll be highly interesting because there's some wild tech stuff out there that's on our side. They get the bad guys and the stuff on our side. So I'll tell you what it is later on another video because I can't make these videos 20 minutes long every time. Later.